Hey, what up tubers, it's your boy Scotty Z coming at you with another EVT video. Today's video we're going to be doing the turbo actuator on the Cummins ISL9 engine. Stay tuned, we'll go through it. I'm not going to try to bore you with too many of the details of like draining the coolant and filling up the coolant and stuff like that. We're just going to go through it, and we're going to go through the insight and find out how to program it and calibrate it. So, let's go. Alright, so I already got the tools that we need over here. You're going to need a 15/16, actually two of them, to loosen this up. And then you're going to need a 5mm Allen to take these bolts out. So we'll go ahead and start doing that. Alright, so we got this loosened up. We can go ahead and pull our connector off here. Pull this tab back, push it down, pull out. Pull this connector, this little clip off here. Sometimes they just break out. You can replace it with the, it's threaded here, so you can replace it with the bolt if you want. Take a little 5mm. You're gonna need a small Allen to get past this bolt here. Loosen that. One on the other side. Loosen those. Loosen these. Alright, we'll get all these loosened up and we'll go ahead and take out these Allen bolts. For the back side, see if we still have this nut in the way. We're just gonna take these up as much as we can, and then we'll lift the turbo actuator up to give us more room, because these won't fully come out with that this nut in the way. It's allows coolant to flow through to cool the actuator. And that should give us enough clearance to get this banjo bolt out. That one feels like it's fully off. This one on the back side, this one will probably come out. Maybe not. We'll pick up on it. There we go. And we pull the rest of this off. Alright, once I finally got smart to use the box end, pull your banjo bolt outs. You want to always replace these banjo washers. Maybe if you were in a pinch it would work, but you're there, you need to just go ahead and replace them. I'm taking this out. Replace the seal that's on here. Should come in the kit that you get, your turbo actuator kit. You want to clean up this surface right here. Clean the mating surface. All this gunk and stuff is right here. You can save these bolts if you want to, but your new actuator should come with new bolts. Set that aside. Usually there's a core on that. Alright, so we're going to clean this up just with a rag for now. Get all this stuff off of it. Try to clean the oil out of this hole. We're going to use some emery cloth. Sand down these rough edges where the gasket met the surface. Nice and smooth with the new seal. Make good contact on the mating surface. Alright, let's see what comes in our new kit here. Here's a part number for the turbo actuator kit. Actuator. Usually already has the seals on them. This one does. Get your little baggie here. It's gonna come with, there's not a part number there for the baggie. It'll come with the seal for that, the red pass-through bolt that we took off. There's the seal for that. Don't lose that. New bolts. And it does come with extra gaskets. And then the banjo fittings. Banjo washers that you'll need. Okay, put that in here. We'll go ahead and put on our new O-ring for the pass-through nut. Okay. So for this next portion, we're just gonna hook it up. Grab our new one. So with the programming, we'll do is we'll go ahead and stick. Let me do this a little backwards, but stick the banjo nut in with the new fittings, and the old ones discard. Your two new fittings. One goes on the inside. Goes on the outside. That on there like that, like that. We'll go ahead and stick our new bolts in there. We'll go ahead and start that a little bit. So you're gonna want to hook this thing up, and through Cummins Insight, you're gonna need to program it with it off first. Then it'll ask you to install and then program it with it on. So that's on. Let me get Insight. Okay, so we have Insight all booted up. If you don't have Insight, I don't know if you can really do this job or not. I know there are other softwares out there. We used to have this one made by Texa called Diesel Laptops. it'll get the job done, but I'm not a big fan of it. It has come in clutch a couple times for programming some parameters, but if you can get insight, get insight. I know it's expensive, but pretty much anything OEM software, if you can get it, get it. Okay, now that we're finally connected to the truck, we're gonna click on our fault codes just to see if it shows me the original code. It was these right here: variable geometry turbocharger actuator driver circuit abnormal update rate, and then this one as well. I don't know why those codes popped up after I drained the coolant. There was no active codes beforehand. Now there are. Anyways, we'll exit the fault codes. We'll go to ECM diagnostics tests, and down here at the bottom there is going to be VGT electronic actuator installation and calibration. Click on that, click next. Important, caution, read the following instructions beforehand. We're going to go over here to procedure. Click the drop down menu and do install actuator. Caution, the VGT actuator must be removed from the turbocharger before the installation process can begin. It is removed. I'm just gonna kind of go set it on its side a little bit. Okay, it's fine. There's a gear in here and I don't want it touching on anything. Okay, so we're gonna click OK. Then we're gonna click start. VGT must be removed from the turbocharger. Okay. Alright, it passed. So then we click on this, click on calibrate, and it says this actuator must be mounted to the turbocharger, so we'll go mount it now. This is your flapper basically for your turbo. Open and close wastegate. So just make sure this is moving freely. Mine is. I usually set it in the middle. Thread that all the way in there. Push this back, gives us a little bit of room here. I have to wiggle it back and forth a little bit, manipulate it, let it sit down on that gear. There it goes. Your 5mm. Start these bolts. Do our front bolts. Okay, we've got the turbo actuator all mounted. You don't have to hook up the coolant lines. Just make sure your electrical connector is plugged in. Hit OK. Hit start. Hit OK. You'll hear it cycle back and forth. Calibration running, passed, and that's it. Now you can hook up all your coolant lines, fill it back full of coolant, and you'll be ready to go. Should be able to go over here to fault codes, and our turbo actuator codes went inactive. Alright y'all, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details of pumping the coolant back into the system. You know, refill your coolant system. It'd be a good idea to pressurize it, just to make sure you're not going to get any leaks from that rear banjo bolt. So yeah, hopefully you learned something. If you liked it, you know, like, subscribe, and share. That actuator is going to be pretty much the same across the board, at least for the ISL. Most Cummins engines are going to be the same. Like I said before, you're going to need an Insight to program it. And I think you can program it with some other other softwares that are kind of like a do it all type thing. Like I said, I think the diesel laptops will do it. So yeah, that's it. See you next time. Don't just follow the rules. Leave the pack. Later.